My daughter Lucy is in second grade here at Arrows. So when I was looking for a school for my daughter, we had been doing cyber school, and what I liked about cyber school was that, we got to spend more time together. I saw where she was through every step of the way in her lessons. If we wanted to mix up the order of our lessons, we were able to. If we wanted to go outside, we were able to. However, when she started struggling with some of her subjects, she was starting to really get frustrated. And then I would get frustrated because I couldn't help her. so then I had to take a step back and say, God, what do I need to do? What's the next step here? So he told me, he's like, listen, you were not made to do this. and I had to kind of swallow my pride with that one and be like, okay, yeah. All right, I get that. I can see it now. Like, I couldn't see it then, but I can see it now. And so I started looking into Christian schools. Not that I have anything against public schools. I had a public education, so you can get a great education through public schools. So, but God was just telling me that wasn't the path for us. Right off the bat, Arrows kind of stuck out to me. I had watched their video that they had put on YouTube that Theron and Ms. had talked about the values of the school and what the school was all about, and it really kind of I just felt good about it. I was kind of at peace with that, with the idea of it. So, but my daughter and I are a team, so we have to come at these decisions together. So, once I was I was happy with the academic standpoint, which is important, but I also wanted her to be not just influenced by God, but I wanted her to be immersed in God's love every day. So I knew that we had to get in the school and see what that was all about. So we scheduled a tour, and we got through the tour, and we were heading back out to our car, and my daughter's like, Mom, I can't wait to start my new school. And we hadn't even made our final decision yet. But that was kind of the okay for me. I'm like, well, she's comfortable here, and that's my biggest concern, that she was comfortable. And because if you're comfortable, you're going to be yourself. You're going to be more willing to get out there and try things. So that's kind of what got us to Arrows. So my daughter has really started to come out of her shell here at Arrows. She's flourishing academically, but she's also forming some really great friendships and relationships, and not just with kids in her class, but she knows kids that are younger than her. She knows kids that are older than her. She's like, Mommy, at lunch, this kid that was that's in the upper class sat with me, and it was so cool, and that just makes my heart feel so great. She's also started to explore a more deeper relationship with Jesus, which has been so beautiful to watch. An example is I was packing her lunch one night for the next day, and she sat down at the dining room table and she wrote out a poem about how much she loved Jesus and how much God loves her. And she said, can I take this to school and show my class? And I said, absolutely. I thought that was great. And so the next day, I get a text message from her teacher, and it's a video of her in front of the entire class at chapel reading her poem. I couldn't believe it. And I was standing in the middle of Walmart crying. I was so proud of her. So so Arrows, has really been a positive influence on her. When I first heard this question about how Arrows had impacted our family culture, initially I was like, I don't really think much has changed. I think we've pretty much been the same. We still listen to Christian music in the car, and we listen to podcasts, and the same podcasts, and watch PBS, so nothing in that area had really changed. But then I really started thinking about it, and I realized, I had gone through a period of my life where my self-confidence really took a blow, and it was whenever that happens, the devil gets in there, the enemy's in there, and he's filling you with, you can't do it, and just give up, and why are you trying, and whether you realize it or not, you're projecting that out to your child, and even if you're not saying those things to them, they're getting that vibe off of you. So when you're projecting that out to your child, that's so hard to see. And God really started working in me the past couple years, really, to see, His truths about me, not what the enemy was saying. And so, my daughter's seeing that now. And that's, such a positive influence for her at home. But then she's also surrounded with it here at school. So she's getting it from both sides, which is so beautiful to see. She's getting more confident in herself and her talents that, God's given her. She's so creative, and just seeing her step out with her creativity this year has been amazing. She loves Legos, and she'll build amazing creations out of these Legos, and she'll be like, "Mom, look what I built today." And then she'll tear it apart and build something else in like 10 minutes. And it's like, how did you do that? It's amazing. And I've always played with Legos, but she's just taken it to another level. And I just love watching that. She comes home with a new picture almost every other day. And the other day she drew a picture. Well, it wasn't even really a drawing. She said she took black glue and she made a cross, and she put little lines in it and painted it with watercolor, and it looked like a stained glass window of a cross. It was beautiful. And I said, we are hanging this up on the wall. So we're getting a frame and hanging it up. So it's just beautiful to see the things that God puts in her heart that she creates. She's recently said she wants to start writing a book. So I'm all for that. I'm like, let's do it. So that's kind of how things have changed for us this year. She's gaining confidence, and I'm gaining confidence as well. So we're growing together. And one thing that I've really noticed this year is we're both kind of recognizing each other's strength and complimenting each other, and saying, Mom, she'll say, Mom, that picture that you drew, because I always write her little notes for her lunch, and I try to, if I have time, I draw a little picture for her. And she'll say, Mom, that picture you drew was so cool, or oh, look at that, I build displays for work, and I'll take pictures of them and show them to her, and she'll be like, look at that display, that's so cool, Mom, can I go see it at the store, So we kind of, we go back and forth with each other and really just compliment, and it's just love, and it's beautiful. So God is so good. Mrs. Weitzel is my daughter's teacher, and she is exactly the right person for my daughter for this transition into a school. It's just, through her experience with her children, and just being a teacher, for the past years, it's given her that insight into, my daughter can be really sensitive about things, and she's picked up on that, and she's also, she's caring about that. If there's an issue in school, like, maybe Lucy might have had an argument with somebody, they sit them down immediately, and they talk it out. They don't let them, just kind of walk away from it. They talk it out, and they figure out a solution. And and then Mrs. Weitzel always makes sure that I know, what happened, the conversation that happened. So I'm always in the loop. I always know what's going on. She makes herself available to the student, or not just to the students, but to the parents. And one great example is I close at work one night a week, and so I don't get home till usually around 9:30. One night I had a question on something for my daughter's homework, and so I just sent her a text. I wasn't really expecting a reply right away. I just wanted to get a message out to her. And she got back to me immediately. We resolved the issue, and she was great about it. She wasn't like, why are you texting me at this hour? So it was, it was such a positive, experience. And another example, there was an issue in class that they had to have a class discussion, and so she called all the parents. She called each parent, and she said, "Listen, this is what happened." So we all sat down and discussed the issue together, and we just wanted to give you a heads up, what was going on. And now my daughter comes home and she pretty much tells me everything, so I'm very fortunate in that. But at least at this point I had a little bit of a preparation. I was able to kind of get ahead of it and know what was discussed. So Mrs. Weitzel comes at this not as just an educator, but with the heart of a mother, and as a mother, that makes me feel great that my daughter's in this environment every day. So my favorite thing about Arrows is it's like a family. Like the entire school is like a family. They, not just the kids don't just interact with their classroom. They're with the younger kids. They're with the older kids. And your student isn't just a number. Like the other teachers know your child's name, and they know about them, and they know their interests, and I just love that they get to interact so much and form friendships and relationships, and I just think that's beautiful. That they're able to do that as an entire school. Okay, so I asked my daughter, why would she recommend Arrows to someone else? And she gave me 3 reasons. She said it's fun. She said you get to go outdoors, and everyone is nice. So that that was kind of cute, and I liked it. But you think about it, that's really what a kid wants. They want to feel safe, and I know that she feels safe, and I know that she loves it here. And for me, I kind of see Arrows as more than just a school. It's as I said before, it's like a family, and you get the academics here, which is very important, but the kids get to form relationships with each other, and friendships, and they know things about each other that you might not really get to do that in a normal school. Not a normal school, but in a public school setting. My daughter, I know, she loves, getting to know everybody. She loves giving hugs. So, she'll have a teacher that she sees down the hall, and Mommy, she gives me hugs all the time. And so that, that makes me happy that, that she feels safe. And that's what you want. You want your child to feel safe when they're in a school. I know academically, she's hitting what she needs to in this school, but she's also learning to form relationships with people, friendships, and she's learning to grow in with the strengths that God's given her, the strengths and talents that He's given her, and it's so encouraged in this environment. So I mean, I would, if that's something you're looking for your child, I would definitely suggest sending your child here, or at least looking into it. Get in here and meet the staff, see the setting of the school. I think you'll really see how great of a facility it is, and how loving the staff is. But yeah, I mean, I can't really say enough about how much we have loved our time with this school.